Hi everyone, welcome to our Wednesday TNT, middle of the week, as we catch up with some of the main stories around Thailand. Some offbeat stuff today, as well as some important stories. And just to remind you that this Saturday we're going to be taking a slight departure, going back to a live program. We're going to be doing it from 9 a.m. Thai time. Great if you can join us. It'll be an hour of you and me and one of these, as we can talk about anything that's on your mind. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, complaints, that's your opportunity to join in. There's no cost, there's no fees, there's no membership. Everybody is welcome. So from wherever you are in the world, if it's at a time that suits you, 9 a.m. Thai time, and that will be when we'll be doing our live program. But let's get stuck into today. We head to the BangkokPost.com. It says new PM tipped on July the 13th. Well, since the Election Commission gave the big tick to 500 MPs on Monday, it set a whole train in motion and a whole set of dates, which we'll go through now. And don't you just love this photo they picked of Prawit Wongsuwon? It says in the credit here, facing the press, Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwon, well, that's caretaker Deputy Prime Minister, makes a face on Tuesday after being prompted by cameramen at Parliament, where he registered as a newly elected List MP. In fact, he was the only List MP for the Palang Pracharath Party who were the leaders of the coalition before the previous election. Well, still in caretaker mode, of course. The story says a joint sitting of the House of Representatives and the Senate is expected to convene on July the 13th to select a new Prime Minister. Citing the Deputy PM Wisanu Kriyanam, the source said on Tuesday the selection of the new House Speaker is expected to take place on July the 6th and the selection of a new Prime Minister expected on July the 13th. So it's all getting underway, only 2 or 3 weeks away, and all this speculation will be at least finished, and we'll know who is Thailand's next Prime Minister. And the appointment of the new cabinet is expected on July the 21st, and the swearing-in ceremony for new ministers is tipped for late July. And as the source says, this is just the date stipulated by law. There could be a bit of a shuffle here or there, and as the article says, it's up to the House Speaker to set specific dates. Well, speaking of the House Speaker, of course, there's been all this bickering between the two parties that got the highest number of votes in the May 14 election. That's Pheu Thai and the Move Forward Party, and both want to be able to choose the House Speaker. In fact, it's become quite an issue between the two parties. If I were the Move Forward Party, I'd be going, okay, if you want the House Speaker, you can have it, because they need the support in so many ways of Pheu Thai. Plus, of course, they need their experience, because Pheu Thai have been in government many times in the past. But the article goes on to say that the Election Commission endorsed all 500 MPs on Monday. They had to report to Parliament from yesterday until this Saturday. Parliament officials will then inform the government how many MPs report in, and the government will then ask the King to preside over the state opening of the new Parliament. Well, let's just hope he's in town at the time. Mr. Wisanu added that in the past a candidate from a minority party was nominated and selected as House Speaker. He added that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha would countersign the royal command appointing the new House Speaker. So he's right that in the past it usually has been a member of a minority party, not necessarily a member of the winning coalition partners. In the last parliament, it was Chuan Likpai, who was a veteran member of the Democrat Party. The Democrats, I think, came 5th or 6th in the election, and they were part of the coalition, but they were just a minority partner. But he performed his duties well, and I think a respected veteran politician is usually the person they'd choose for a House Speaker. But both Move Forward and Pheu Thai have made it political, and it's become a bit of a sideshow as we move forward to a selection of a new Parliament and indeed a new Prime Minister. Now, speaking of the prospective Prime Minister, he's got some other problems. Thai PBS World reports that Pita gets COVID-19, quarantines and suspends activities for a while. The Move Forward Party leader Pita Limjareonrat has tested positive for COVID-19 and will not be able to attend a meeting of leaders of the 8 coalition parties scheduled for tomorrow. He also said that Pita will miss a seminar with all the party MPs that starts today, but is expected to recover and be able to join the MPs in reporting to Parliament on June the 27th. He will drag himself kicking and screaming from hospital if he has to, with all the tubes attached. He'll be there. And in his Facebook post, Pita warned people who were close to him in the past week to monitor themselves for any symptoms. He said he started to develop symptoms last Sunday. He conducted a rapid antigen test today, which showed a positive result. And the Move Forward Party leader said he's already received 6 doses of vaccine, but was still infected again, albeit with mild symptoms. And a party source that this is the 3rd time that Pita's been infected with COVID-19. And here was me thinking I'd never have to say the word COVID-19 ever again. Well, I did. A big thanks to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. There is a special deal in the link below, and they've got a spectacular fleet of boats. They do a really good job if you are intending to head off Phuket to check out some of the beautiful islands or beaches in Phang Nga Bay. It's our Wednesday TNT. Let's move on to some tourism news. This reported by BangkokPost.com. Uncertainty stymies tourism trade. It says the operators are waiting for the new government. I've read this narrative quite a few times, people saying, oh, we can't make decisions at the moment because we don't have the new government. Well, the new government have laid out their policies and there is a caretaker government still there. The wheels of public policy are still sort of chugging along. So not really sure why people are waiting. Well, even as the Election Commission endorsed all MP-elect candidates this week, tourism operators remain worried about stagnant domestic expenditure as travellers delay potential plans, while local businesses are reluctant to invest until a government is formed. And the president of the Khao San Road Business Association says there will still be a vacuum period until the government is formed. He said domestic tourists are hesitant to spend on travel because of the political uncertainty, especially if a protest erupts. Well, let's face it, I mean, a protest could erupt at any time. The protests are mostly legal, and usually they happen at a couple of well-publicised intersections, and tourists are unlikely to find them even if they wanted to. He said the economy has stalled and there is not much the caretaker government can do to change that. He said that the Tourism Authority of Thailand should accelerate promotional campaigns with airlines. Well, let's face it, there's not really that much that the TAT can do except ring up and ask nicely. The airlines are going to be driven by demand. If people want to come to Thailand, the airlines will add some more seats. He said many hotels on Khao San Road need a larger volume of guests to bump up the occupancy rate, which is stagnant at 40 to 50%, he says. But we've now got Marissa, who's the president of the Thai Hotels Association, usually speaks sense, and said the endorsement of MPs is just the first step in setting up the new government. She said hotel operators are concerned about the slowdown in the meetings, incentives, conventions and exhibitions segment, as some local businesses have delayed their plans. According to the THA, the nationwide occupancy rate this month is 48%, and that's lagging behind the 65% recorded in 2019. Now, this reporting of occupancy rates is really just a bit of a turkey shoot. I actually took a drive along the west coast of Phuket over the weekend, visiting some of the popular tourist areas like Patong and Kata Karon, all the way down to Nai Han and up around Cheung Talay. And things were, well, I suppose some people would say, oh, it's dead, but it was quite quiet. So here's some video I took at Patong Beach. And you can see, well, there's not that many people there. This was taken around about 12:30 in the afternoon. I suppose it would be an early part of the day as far as a tourist is concerned, but I would have expected to see a lot more people on the beach. And then down to Qatar Beach, which is very, very popular with Europeans and Russian people in the past, but again, very, very quiet. You could literally count the number of people on the beach. It was, I would say, less than 20 or 30, where in the past we've seen that beach really full of beach umbrellas and people, and a lot of people in the water as well. And the conditions over the weekend were perfect. It was just some of the best weather we've had. So I think those occupancy numbers might be a little bit exaggerated, and things are perhaps quieter than people would like to admit. Now, also speaking about Phuket, a big day for the island today because it's going to find out if it's won its bid for the, I'll try and get this right, the Bureau International des Expositions. So the big international expo, it's going to be held in 2028. And Phuket, just one of 5 contenders. Let's find out a little bit more. And the host country of the Specialised Expo for 27-28 will be elected by BIE members, and that's happening yesterday and today. And the election will take place today. And 5 projects will be considered by the General Assembly. Here they are. So we've got Minnesota, the US. We've got Phuket in Thailand. We've got Belgrade in Serbia. We've got Malaga in Spain and Bariloche in Patagonia, Argentina. Very beautiful part of the world. Now, if I look at all those locations, a few things stand out. Firstly, a lot of those places will have much more developed public transport than this little island. But I think one thing in Phuket's favour is it's the only Asian destination. So a lot of goodwill has been thrown at this particular event, plus a lot of promotions and a lot of trips from the General Assembly to come and visit Phuket to decide if it's going to be able to host. We'll find out later today, and no doubt we'll report tomorrow that there'll certainly be celebrations around the island if they do win. And I suppose, well, mathematically, they've got a 1 in 5 chance. Let's talk curries on TNT, and always love these lists, although I suppose you've got to take them with a certain grain of salt. But this is from Taste Atlas, which is certainly well regarded as far as its food categories and food reviews are concerned. And they're talking about the 10 best rated curries. Now, we all love a good curry. Me, not too spicy, thank you. But good to see that in the top 10 world rated curries, that Thailand gets number 1, 2, 7, 8 and 10 with the Penang curry, the khao soi, and then we've got the green curry, massaman curry, and then Thai curry collectively. So number 10, all Thai curries are fantastic. So good to see there as Thailand at least gets rated well in the curry department. That from Taste Atlas. Speaking of taste, BangkokPost.com reports tourists' sexy display shocks Baht Bus operator. So a Baht Bus operator up in Chiang Mai driving around unaware that there's a Tik Tok, well, apparent star, in the back gyrating with her pants off. And a Baht Bus cooperative in the northern tourist city has asked members to help ensure there's no repeat of a foreign woman passenger seen in videos sexually exposing herself on the back of a downtown red bus. And the president of one of the Baht Bus operators says such behaviour could badly affect the image of Chiang Mai, which was a province dedicated to its beautiful culture and tourism, and the image of the red Baht buses. Well, Chiang Mai aside, I'm not really sure what reputation of the Baht buses he's talking about. Is he talking about the rip-offs? I mean, the red Baht buses in Chiang Mai aren't much better than the tuk-tuks in Phuket. He was responding to 3 videos posted days ago on the TikTok account of Huangxi59, who described herself as a Chinese girl. I suspect I've just lost about half my audience as they all scrambled to go to the TikTok account, and they showed a woman making sexy gyrations while travelling on a red Baht bus in downtown Chiang Mai, wearing a bra top and lowering her slacks to expose her bottom and G-string panties. The videos had each been viewed between 500,000 and 1 million times. Now, of course, this is just a perfect story for coconuts.co, and they didn't disappoint. Hot and bothered, Chiang Mai sweats reputation after Chinese TikTokers' thong vids. Pretty difficult to say with a mouth full of marbles. A Chinese woman who stripped down to her thong aboard a Chiang Mai Songtao for TikTok has prompted the obligatory pearl clutching in the Rose of the North. And Huangxi59 struck provocative poses, and it's been watched more than 1 million times since it was posted on Friday. And the head of the company which operates Chiang Mai's Songtao service said that while he definitely watched the clips, he didn't note how many times, the driver was unaware of the steamy shoot. He said he would make it a personal and professional mission to prevent similar incidents from happening. I'm not exactly sure how he's going to do that, but a little bit of steamy action up there in Chiang Mai, shocking the locals. Now, still on the roads, but this is a fascinating story from Bangkok. And the BangkokPost.com reports a hostage calls for help, rescued at a police checkpoint. It says a hostage dragged into a car by armed men called for help as they approached a police checkpoint in the early hours of Tuesday and was rescued unhurt. His 5 alleged abductors, travelling in 2 vehicles with him, were arrested and 6 guns and ammunition seized from them. And police manning a drink-driving test point heard a cry for help from an approaching Chevrolet. They pulled the vehicle over for a search, along with a Toyota car following behind him. I mean, this would have been terrifying. Mr. U10 said he was overjoyed when police responded and he was safely rescued. And the police say that 5 suspects had tried to flee as traffic police converged on their vehicles. After hearing the plea for help, all were caught. He said the suspects admitted to knowing the victim, but had so far refused to divulge any other details of the abduction. Well, an abduction interrupted, and it might be interesting to find out exactly what happened with Mr. U10 and those abductors, as I've got a few cats here waiting to be fed. Now we're going to head to Pattaya. We've given Phuket a bit of news earlier, so let's see what's happening in Pattaya. And I get the sense that ChatGPT might be involved with the instruction, please write this with as much flowery language as you can come up with. Here we go, and this is from PattayaMail.com. City gears up for spectacular Pattaya Beach Games. So the event sounds quite interesting. Let's find out more. And excitement fills the air in Pattaya City as preparations are underway for the highly anticipated Pattaya Beach Games. The eagerly awaited event is scheduled to take place from June the 30th to July 9th at the picturesque Pattaya Beach. Now, Pattaya Beach is wide and broad, but picturesque it's not. In the next paragraph, all the necessary arrangements were in place for this grand sporting extravaganza, and city officials are fully committed to showcasing Pattaya as a premier sports destination and harnessing the power of sports to promote tourism. Don't worry, there's more. The Pattaya Beach Games will feature 4 thrilling categories of sports, catering to a wide range of enthusiasts. Spectators can witness intense action at the beach soccer competition. There's going to be beach volleyball with captivating matches, and then the beach sepak takraw. Now, I'll admit that really is spectacular. And then beach tennis aficionados can witness gripping matches as the 5 divisions vie for victory. And then Pattaya City invites both locals and tourists to join in the excitement and show their support for their favourite athletes. And the Pattaya Beach Games promise to be an extraordinary event highlighting the city's commitment to sports and its potential as a premier sports and tourism destination. So either ChatGPT or a very enthusiastic writer in wax lyrical mode there in that story about the Pattaya Beach Games coming up at the end of this month and early July, and that was written by the PattayaMail.com. And finally, I was going to do this story today from Coconuts Bangkok. YouTuber My Mate Nate's latest stunt lands him in hot water with Thai police. But the guy gets enough publicity. He's a serial nuisance, but he's also a very successful YouTuber, and I suppose I'm somewhere between appalled by what he does and also quite jealous of his views. But if you want to find out what My Mate Nate's been doing, I'll invite you to go and check that out yourself. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching today. And don't forget, on Saturday, we've got an hour together, you, me, and a cup of tea, and we'll have a chat for an hour from 9 AM Thai time. Thanks for watching today, and I look forward to doing it again tomorrow.